Tico here. Hope everyone's well and safe as normal, and welcome to this month's Q&A video, where I will do my very best to answer all of your questions to the best of my abilities. As you can see, I have a new t-shirt. Thanks, baskets. So without further delay, let us begin. Start us off with 3 questions is from Amétrine Moon. And the first question is, did you want to ever drive your beloved? Did I ever want to? That is my #1 mission in life, to drive my beloved. I will one day, one way or the other. But yeah, ever since I first saw my beloved and travelled on her in 2001, so 20 years ago, I've always wanted to drive my beloved. And I came close, twice, very close. But no, I will one day, and that's going to be one hell of a vlog. Hopefully. Second question from Amétrine. Have you ever wanted to work on the railways? If so, what held you back? I did originally. I wanted to, one of my dream job was to be a train driver. But as I grew up, you know, life has a funny way of just kicking you in the...
ACOG screen.
Exactly. And yeah, it wasn't going to happen. So I just tried to apply for Great Western Railway and other operators local to me, and just try and see if I can get anything, you know, like anything from just being a platform manager or anything like that. Yeah, anything. But yeah, no luck so far. But I would rather it be a hobby than, you know, like just a job, in my view, because it's more enjoyable and you have more freedom if it's a hobby, and it doesn't put you down as much. But yeah, each to their own. Third and final question from Amétrine Moon. Will Cyber and G, Cyber Trains and G those trains is referring to, be suitably punished for licking your beloved? I am very happy to say that they will be punished. So, the plan is to go and spot their beloveds. So Cyber Trains, it'll be 15216, which is with Great Western Railway, and I will lick it. And then with Glossop Trains, which is on real-time trains, 175109, her beloved Bay Train, and I will lick that one as well, to avenge my beloved. Because they both licked my beloved on Simon's live stream August the 7th. Both of them, live. I witnessed it. Next up with 3 questions is, I think this is his right account, I've no idea. Brighton Trainspotter 123, if it's your right account. And their first question is, thoughts on the Thameslink Class 700? He also says, hello Tico, keep up the amazing work and the amazing content, and don't stop being you. I will repeat the same to you, Brighton Trainspotter 123, if this is your right account, that is. Keep up the amazing work, keep up the amazing content, and don't stop being you. Thoughts on the Thameslink Class 700s? They're alright. I've not seen them yet. I've heard of them. I remember when they entered service. They run between Brighton, the Midland Main Line, London. Yeah, and there's a few varieties of them as well. It's not just like the 700s. There's the 707s, the 707s that run with Southeastern now, and then you got the 717s which are with Great Northern? Yes. But yeah, one day hopefully I get to spot and do a review, but we'll just have to wait and see on that one. Second question from Brighton Trainspotter. What's your opinion on High Speed 2? Do you think it should be built despite the cost? Here we go, everybody. HS2 question. Personally, I think it's a waste of time because it costs a lot of money, way too much. You're damaging the environment. It's going to take what, over like 8 years to go through the Chiltern Hills, is it? So, I mean, in the long run, when it's eventually built, it will kind of relieve congestion on main lines like the West Coast, Midland, East Coast. But even so, eventually, the HS2 line will eventually become congested. And the other problem is that in some areas, the HS2 is actually sharing their services with main lines. So the East Coast, for example, when it goes to York. Yeah, so I don't see how that's going to play out, but they've started building it anyway, so they might as well just complete it. But overall, I'm not really a fan of HS2, no. Third and final question from Brighton Trainspotter 123. Do you have any plans on coming to Brighton to see the Class 313s? Hopefully. Well, it depends when they actually get taken out of service and if I can get there in time. But hopefully, yes. Next up with 2 questions is from Bloody Wind. CPR 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've lost count. So the first question is, when and where did you last see your beloved 150-001 in person? July 23rd this year at Clitheroe, as she was departing for Rochdale. I really regret not going. I really regret staying at Clitheroe. But I mean, it was worth it because we saw a Type 0, well, I saw a Type 0 hybrid again after 10 years. And number 2 again. I actually travelled on number 2 in ages. But it was good to be back on number 2. But hopefully I will be with my beloved before the end of this year. So yeah, just a fair warning. Second and final question from CPR 1234, and that is, what is your favourite electric train? If you're talking about electric locomotives, the Class 92. If you're talking about multiple units, the hairy units, the Class 323s. Brilliant, hair-raising units. I did just make a really bad pun there, but oh well. Next up with just the one question is from Daniel Trains UK, and their only question is there a charter train you would love to travel on? I'd rather spot them than travel on them, but there's the Midland Pullman, the Tornado. I'd like to do the Shakespeare Express again. And yeah, flying Scotsman as well. Next up with 2 questions is English Transport Productions. And their first question is, what heritage railway would you want your beloved 150-001 preserved on? The Severn Valley Railway. I would like both number 1 and number 2, please. Second question from English Transport Productions. What is your favourite place to train spot in the southwest of England? Currently it is Exeter, St David's and Dawlish. Hopefully I can do the Exmouth branch and see what it's like on that part of the line, but mostly that area. Next up with just the one question is Jacob's Rail Adventures, and that question is, what is the best or slash favourite line you have travelled on? There's loads. At the moment, if you're talking about recent, the Dartmouth Steam Railway, it's just views throughout. Lovely stations, Paignton, Goodrington Sands, Shurston, the new one, the one there where Alistair, oh god, I don't know, and then there's Kingswear. But yeah, very scenic and very nice as well. So yeah, Dartmouth Steam Railway. Next up with 3 questions is from James Glossop. And their first question is, best station that you have been to film both diesel and electric trains at? There's a couple. So Tamworth is one, Manchester Piccadilly is another one. But yeah, those 2. Second question from James. If your beloved had to race against another train, what would it go up against? Now the thing is that my beloved only does 75 miles an hour and he's 37 years old, so yeah, there's not a lot you can put it against. The only thing I can say is a pacer. So yeah, my beloved versus a pacer. Third and final question from James Glossop. Are there any other disused railway stations that you would make a video on? Yes, there's a few, especially in my area. But at the moment I'm just focusing on just getting out there and just train spotting. Because, you know, after the 3 lockdowns, I just want to get out more and just train, you know, sprinters, charter services, yeah. Next up with two questions is from Jordan's Transport Adventures. And their first question is, best railway station in Wales? Depends. If you want loads of action, then Cardiff Central, Newport and 7 Tunnel Junction. But if you like your if you like your overall scenery and peace and quiet, then Bexley Currid or Blenia Festiniog. But if you want a bit of both, then Bangor. Because Bangor and Bangor. You get sprinters at Bangor, you get super sprinters at Bangor, you get express sprinters at Bangor, you get Avanti Voyagers at Bangor, and yeah, Bangor. Second and final question from Jordan Transport Adventures. Favourite new train built in the last 3 years? For now, it would have to be the 196 Civities for West Midlands trains, as I have yet to do a review on them when they actually enter service. But yeah, 196. Next up with 3 questions is Josh's Railway Adventures, and their first question is, what is your favourite thing you have done this year for trains? I don't have a favourite, I just have like a number of things that I've enjoyed this year. So, you got just doing different things for once, like Tika Explores, doing my pacer driving experiences, both at Scunthorpe and then down in Plymouth, on 142 and 144 pacers. Reuniting with my beloved after 616 days and 3 lockdowns, and then meeting up with awesome people. Josh Kusner, Jacob's Rail Adventures, James Glossop, Simon Trains and G Loves Trains. So yeah, those are my highlights for this year so far. Second question from Josh. How was the summer for you? It was goose. Goose. Had me 2 jabs. Went to see my beloved in Manchester on my birthday, as well as G Loves Trains. No, actually, I lie. I saw G Loves Trains and Simon Trains twice in the summer. First in June and then in July. And then August was one of the other main things as well, because I went down to Plymouth, did my driving experience, and of course, chaos at Sainsbury's. Now, if you haven't watched that, watch it. You'll find it can be quite chaotic when it comes to the Sainsbury's parts. When I debut trolley service Tico.
Did somebody say?
Quiet you, I'm filming! Third and final question from Josh's Railway Adventures. How was the trip to drive the Pacer? The trip down to Plymouth, it was alright, no delays, nothing. And the best thing of all is that you can get, I can get there direct from Cheltenham, which is handy. The actual driving experience itself was very good, great people, and yeah, it was great fun. On the way back, we got held up at Bristol, but that was because there was engineering works at Bristol still going on, so nothing we could do about that. But we still got there. It was good overall. I enjoyed it. I'll do it again. They say they'll get a 153 preserved on the Plymouth Valley Railway, and when they do, I'm coming down again. So, next up with 3 questions is Michael, Sebastian, Todd. The first question is, if someone said you can ride 150,001 to your favourite seaside resort in the UK next year, which seaside town or city would you ride 150,001 to? Dawlish or Exmouth. Oh yeah. Second question from Michael. Class 158 or class 159? 158. Third and final question from Michael, Sebastian, Todd is class 153s or class 156s? Again, a tough one. 153s. Next up with 2 questions is from Pep EMU fan, and their first question is, do you like Peps? I do indeed like the class 507 and 508 units which run for Merseyrail, and they don't have long left, so hopefully sometime the beginning of next year I can go up and explore the Merseyrail network with a possible Tico Ventures, depending on if people actually like the first episode of Tico Ventures, that is. But yeah, if you'd like to see that, Tico Ventures on the Merseyrail network, then let me know. But one way or the other, I am going to the Merseyrail network helicopter. I'm trying to film here, do you mind? Christ! I just want one thing, and it, God, let me do my Q&A! I think it's gone. Second and final question from Pep EMU fan. Would you see yourself taking part in a cab experience on your beloved 150,001? Yes, and I will drive it. I will drive my beloved one day. You will see. Next up, with 3 questions, is from Reuben Ashwell. And the first question is, good you in, is there a particular route you would love to see your beloved work on? Yeah, there's a few. In my own head, that is. Manchester to Liverpool via Chatmoss and via Warrington Central. Yeah, mostly that one. Second question from Reuben. Would you ever consider visiting Ireland? Ireland? To see the trains there. A few times it has occurred, but I don't have any plans to venture outside of the UK. Oh yeah. Third and final question from Reuben Ashwell. Would you want to come to the Midland Main Line to ride a Class 180? I have actually travelled on 180s before, with first Great Western between Worcester and Worcester, Shrub Hill and Foregate Street, and then on to Hereford. But yeah, it'd be nice to travel on the 180s again that were with first Great Western, then with Hull Trains, and now with East Midlands Railway. So yeah, hopefully. Next up with 3 questions is from Simon the Railway Enthusiast 83. And the first question is, have you ever considered being a train driver? The reason I ask is you can drive the Pacer. Now, the drive Pacer experience, that was because it was on a Heritage Railway, and also I wasn't alone in the cab. I had like an instructor. But I knew what I was doing anyway because of Train Simulator. I know what you're going to say. You forgot about the Felixstowe live stream. Yes, that was a one-off. Sickleman's era, that one. But yeah, as I've said in Amétrine Moon's question, originally I wanted to work up with the railway, but I'd rather it be a hobby because you have more freedom and it's less stressful. There. Second question from Simon. Do you have any plans to travel on the Cross City line when doing TK Ventures? Incidentally, I do! November, episode 2 of TK Ventures. Well, only if people like the first one. Because if people don't like something, then what's the point in continuing? But I enjoyed filming the first episode, so I'm probably going to do it anyway. Because, you know, why not? Third and final question from Simon the Railway Enthusiast 83. Do you plan to visit the Island Line on the Isle of Man? Yes, I do. It will have to be next year now, because I've got most of my stuff for this year, well, the rest of this year already planned out, so it'll have to be next year, because Southeastern Railway finally announced a reopening date, November the 1st this year, with upgraded stations with higher elevations to meet the standards of the Class 484 Viva Rail units, the new rolling stock for the Island Line. And yeah, I'm actually very interested in seeing the Island Line because I've never been yet. Next up with 3 questions is from Simon Trains, or as some people like to call him, Simon Trains, or as we like to call him, Cyber Trades, or as I call him because of a Twitter thing that I was tagged in with both me, Cyber and Gene of Trains, Darling! Hello, darling. Hello. Yes. The first question is, how is it driving a Class 142 Pacer, and would you drive any more Pacer trains in the future? I think there's some with like Swanage Railway, the Wensleydale line, the Mid Norfolk Railway, just name a few. But yeah, if they are doing driving experiences there for Pacers, I'm going. Why not? Second question from Simon, or Darling. TK Adventures. How often are you going to upload them onto YouTube? As I've said a few times now, it ultimately depends how well the first one does, and people like them. However, at the moment, mostly between 4 and 6 every year, so you get like, it's like one episode every 2 to 3 months. But yeah, if you have any suggestions, let me know. But one thing is for definite, is the Isle of Wight, the Merseyrail line, and Scotland. But if you have any suggestions, then let me know in the comments. Third and final question from Simon Chains, darling. Yeah. Acock's green, ham flaps, or salvage cock o'clock? Which one? Ah, God. I like Acock's green because there's a lot of Acock facilities there. Acock's green. You get trade passing through Acock's green at speed. Ham flaps. I don't really like ham. But yeah, Kirkham and Weston was a good station though. But I only went there, that was before they did the electrification, so it looks a lot better now, as I've seen from videos from both yourself and Jill of Trades. But the Stourbridge Cock O'Clock is the best thing I've ever seen. Ever. But Acock's green. Acock's green, come on. Acock's green. Acock's green, take it away.
Acock's green, Acock's green, Acock's green, Acock's green.
And to finish off with 3 questions is Southeastern Trainspotter 2006. And their first question is, what is your opinion on the Electrostar? The Electrostars, they're alright. I've been on them once. Between Cambridge and Ely, and then Ely to Cambridge, because from Ely to Kings Lynn it was on a 317, yeah, 317, and then on the way back was a 365 between Kings Lynn and Ely, and this was 2006. Second question from Southeastern. What is your opinion on the Class 390? I do like them. I do miss them in the Virgin Trains livery. And I have still yet to travel on a Class 390. Now you would think, growing up in the West Midlands, I would have actually travelled on one of these trains. But I haven't. I've never travelled with... actually no, I lie. Virgin Trains cross country. And then cross country took over and yeah. But if I was to travel on a 390, it would either be 391, 155 or 156. Railway Benefit Fund or 044 the Royal Scot, and of course 119 the Pride, because the Pride, come on. Best livery in existence besides Central Trains. Third and final question from Southeastern Trainspotter 2006, which is, will you ever train spot at Alton? If you are referring to Alton, the terminus of the Alton line with Southwestern Railway, I have no idea. Perhaps one day, but I really don't know, because I'm doing a lot at the moment. And that's it for this Q&A session. So thank you very much to everyone for sending me over your questions. I've enjoyed reading and answering them. Until next time, thank you for watching and stay safe, everybody.